Hello guys, Art-Teeves here. This is the second part of my latest tutorial that covers key stages of texturing this stylized cakemaker device. We will surely make a cake for it some other time. For this video, I am texturing this device in 4K Reso, but switching to 2K Reso barely changes anything. My texture padding is set to 16, subsampling is also set to 16. I switch my ambient occlusion to same named meshes only, because I don't want my indicator arrows to leave permanent shadows on indicators themselves. Also, I'm using the default plastic glossy material. I play around with its global balance, also global balance of its dust and dirt extras, and also reduce their transparency in order to make dust barely noticeable. Then I create multiple instances of the updated material and use them to color tanks, frames, etc. You can borrow a color scheme from some cartoony image or cartoon screenshot, generate it online, or just experiment with colors till you like the overall image. I don't care much about individual colors here, because I'm only interested in balancing out the final look of my model. I won't be showing the whole unmasking process. Basically, I simply black mask each instance of plastic material I make and use the polygon fill tool to fill particular tanks, frames, buttons and other elements of the model. Make sure to check the look of your model with different environments now and then. Roughness, edges and reflections play a huge role obviously. If you use some other plastic, you may possibly want to cover UV seams later on. My material makes them almost impossible to notice, but they are still a thing. Next I create a black layer that has high transparency. I apply black mask to it and use it to paint all gaps, cavities, etc. that shall be darker than usual. This method also allows you to create cheap lighting in indie games and simply rely on painted shadows. I don't bake any high poly version of this model to it, nor do I play with normals, because we may want to get rid of normal map and only use roughness, emission and base color for this one. I create a fill layer and experiment with different preset dust smart masks. Our model is pretty clean and cartoony, so we don't want our dust and dirt to be too noticeable. We only want to alter our color palette slightly. I like to use some mask that has a built-in gradient, so that my model blends better with the floor once it is incorporated into some scene. Once again, we don't want to make dust and dirt stand out. I don't make it dark and also reduce the transparency of the corresponding layer. Dust shall have high roughness value obviously. I create a screen by using several instances of built-in glass visor smart material. I apply different preset grunges to different screens to make their roughness uneven. I also enable emissive channel and add emission to my screen material. Since we are making a stylized model, I don't want to get metallic channel involved. This will also reduce the size of our texture obviously. Also I've used some background paper texture for my indicator screens. You may easily skip that phase, as those parts will be barely visible later on. If you have your indicators covered with glass, you have to model that glass as a separate object, since most game engines will struggle to render their transparency properly if they are merged to the rest of the model. Our screen doesn't have any transparency, so we shall not worry that it is incorporated into the model itself. I've also enlarged its UV chuck, so we see the displayed image clearly. Now I repeat the same procedure with running lamps. I activate emission channels for corresponding dust and dirt layers, so we can see uneven lighting coming from them. Make sure that you have some base color below your emission, so it remains in its place should you want to disable emission channel in your game for some reason. I use a fill layer, black mask and a polygon fill tool to paint various indicator zones. Then I mask the corresponding layer and use a hard brush to unmask it within a smaller radius. As you can see, the paper background is already there. It is not really important for a particular model, as we can give up our normal map entirely, depending on the use of this model. I've painted the simple cartoony cake image in Photoshop, increased its brightness value to its maximum, and added a black layer to make an improvised alpha out of it. Now I use a fill layer that has color and emission maps, mask it, and place my alpha into the grayscale input field of this new fill layer. Then I adjust its color and emission color till I like its new looks when watching this model from afar. And this is it. Thanks for watching, guys. Should you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them in the comment section below. If my videos are of use to you, be my guest and subscribe to my channel for more stylized content. And most importantly, have a great day.